The financial implications of getting sick with serious illness are so often gut-wrenching, and the last thing anyone, including immediate family, should be worried about when either we or a loved one gets seriously ill is lack of adequate money during this trying time. With us today to discuss practical financial options when serious illness strikes is Lee Berman. Lee is the Vice President of Policy Services and Chief Settlement Advisor with Asset Funding Corporation. Welcome, Lee. It's so great to have you.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
And this is a very important topic we're discussing today. And why are so many people in the population not prepared or not equipped to handle the financial burdens that accompany life-threatening illnesses?
Well, Julie, that's a great question. I think there are probably two reasons for that. Number one is that no one can really be prepared and can expect to be diagnosed with something like cancer or Lou Gehrig's disease.
True.
So there's no way to prepare for that financially. The second thing is I think people just don't realize that when you have this type of diagnosis and you're going through treatment, financially you're not going to be in the same place as you were before. For many people, they have to miss significant time from work.
Right.
The income doesn't come in anymore, but they still are required to make their house payment, their car payment, put food on the table. So those are probably the two main reasons.
You know, Lee, a phrase in subject matter you know well, but most of us have never heard of, I had not, is viatical settlements. I mean, what are they?
Well, a viatical settlement is basically the sale of an existing life insurance policy from the policy owner to a third party for cash. In every case, less than the death benefit, but more than the cash surrender value of the policy.
Wow. Tell us what Asset Funding Corp is doing to make viatical settlements a viable option for those with life insurance policies who are dealing with life-threatening illnesses.
Well, for over 10 years, Asset Funding Corporation has been working with people who've been either diagnosed with this type of illness or their family members, caregivers, or their financial advisors to make a viatical settlement an option for them. And what we do is either directly or through our website at sellyourinsurance.com, we provide the tools to do an evaluation of the policy, look at things like their premiums, the history and the rules of the policies, as well as their medical condition. And by gathering all this information, we can give them options. We can educate them about the options in their policy. They might have options that they're not aware of. And one of those options very well could be that Asset Funding Corporation can make them an offer to actually buy the policy from them and get them that much needed cash.
Now, do all life insurance policy holders qualify? How does that work?
Well, in order to qualify for a viatical settlement, you do have to have been diagnosed with one of these illnesses that we're talking about.
So if this is cancer, Lou Gehrig's, something
heart disease,
heart disease,
kidney
AIDS,
disease.
Correct. Yeah, okay.
But you do have to have one of these illnesses to qualify for a viatical settlement. A perfectly healthy person in their 40s or 50s would not qualify.
Now, for people not familiar, like I was not with viaticals, what should be the primary reasons for considering this type of option?
For most people in this situation, the financial stress that they're going through is the most important thing. And what we strive to do is to get them the cash that they need to relieve that financial stress, put the cash in their pockets to help them pay for, again, all of these day-to-day expenses that they're dealing with.
And are there common misconceptions out there regarding this financial tool?
Yes, there are a number of misconceptions in what we do. The first is that most people think that you have to have been given a terminal diagnosis in order to qualify, and that's just not true.
Really?
You can have a longer life expectancy than less than 1 or 2 years to qualify for a viatical settlement. The second is that most people think you need a permanent or whole life insurance policy in order to sell the policy. In fact, the majority of the policies that we buy are term policies or group policies, group policy being one through your job.
Wow. And as the use of viatical settlements has increased over time, how has the approach evolved?
Well, the viatical settlement industry really started in the late 70s and early 80s when HIV and the AIDS epidemic started in our country. And at the time, people were looking for additional money to pay for treatments that weren't covered by their health insurance.
Right.
And selling a life insurance policy became a good option for them. But over the years, the industry has expanded into illnesses such as cancer, heart disease, and kidney failure.
All right, final question for you, Lee. As a specialist, what advice would you give people who are considering this?
The most important thing is to get educated, not only on your current financial situation and the assets that you might have, but also what your options are. What we offer at Asset Funding Corporation is a complete evaluation of the life insurance policy to let them know what all of their options are with the policy, including if they have the option to sell the policy. And at that point, they can make an educated decision and do what's in their best interest and the best interest of their families.
Wow, this was such an important topic. Thank you so much for coming by today. I mean, there's so many with serious illnesses out there that have no idea that this exists.
It was my pleasure, and thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. And if you're a holder of a life insurance policy and you'd like to learn more about the financial options for life-threatening illnesses, visit us at thebalancingact.com or log on to Facebook /The Balancing Act Fans.